What's up, everyone? Jacob Moy here, Sandbag Misfit. It's a little past 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's about time to go do a sandbag workout at the park. I'm going to do this video a little different. It's going to be kind of like you're working out with me and hanging out with me. So saddle up and let's go. So typically on days I work out, I usually work out early in the morning. I only work out in the afternoon one day on Mondays because my current situation, I work out of town and I drive to where I work on Mondays. So I go do my workout after work in the afternoon. So I normally like to wake up at 2 a.m. That's 2 hours before I start working out. That gives me plenty of time to get hydrated, caffeinated, and ready to train. I don't take a pre-workout supplement. All I do is I'll drink a lot of water, salt, and coffee, and BioLite. My company provides these, so I get them for free. They're like $3 a bottle. So what I do with this BioLite is I put baking soda in it. That is said to delay fatigue in the muscles by increasing acidity. I'm not telling you to do that though. It's kind of questionable. So that's my pre-workout routine. Now it's time to go to the park. So I found that waking up 2 hours before workout to hydrate has helped a lot, tremendously, instead of waking up an hour, because I've done that for years. When you're properly hydrated before a workout, your performance is exponentially better. So I'm here at this calisthenics park that you see in many of my videos. I've found that the lighting is good, and I think it's a great place to make videos. Plus, it's a great place to lift sandbags. I mean, the surface is similar to a gym floor, padded and everything. That's why you see me lift barefoot on it. I wouldn't advise carrying or lifting a sandbag barefoot on concrete. I mean, this is kind of hereditary, but I've already got varicose veins from all the carrying weight that I do, so I'm not going to try to hurt my feet and legs anymore. All right, enough talking. Now it's time to get out and get everything set up, get the sandbag and the kettlebell out of the truck. So with working out of town, I keep my sandbag, my kettlebell, and my bands and my gear in the back seat of my truck so it don't get rained on. I know carrying all that weight kind of messes up the gas mileage, but in my situation, I've actually got a company truck, so I don't have to pay for the gas, and plus it's a 3/4 ton truck, so it's rated to handle. It's definitely rated to handle heavy sandbags and kettlebells and all my equipment. So a little bit about what I do is, I'm actually an electrical lineman. I'm the boss, so that's why I have a pickup truck and a company truck. We install, repair, maintain power lines for the electrical power grid. This is the stuff nobody talks about. Getting the sandbag and moving the sandbag to your workout space. So the kettlebell's pretty easy to get out of the truck. This is how I get the sandbag out. I gotta kind of climb up in there and flip it out and drop it. So I get it to my workout space. I consider that my warm-up. So what I do is I'll pick and bear hug carry it. Can't forget the cinder blocks. Farmer carries are something I do in between sets in every workout. Something I do every day. I do a lot of band work as well. And I do all this in between sets of sandbag lifting. All right, I'm gonna bring the cinder blocks and bands over there real quick. Then a little one-sided farmer carry with the kettlebell over to the spot. All right, so this is my workout space right here. I got the sandbag, kettlebell, and some bottles of water. Going barefoot on this surface. I got the cinder blocks and the bands. Kind of like to do push downs on those pull-up bars and stuff, and do little bicep curls, pull aparts and all that stuff, face pulls, you name it. All right, so for the workout, I'm doing sandbag to lap, and then I'm explosively exploding up and tossing the bag over my shoulder. And then after that, I'm gonna do kettlebell clean and press and some dive bomber push-ups. Right now my sandbag weighs 209 pounds. I'm actually in between cycles. I'm not really in a strength building cycle right now. I just came off of one. I was just training at 247 and just maxed out my sandbag to shoulder at 280. So right now I'm working on some special skills that can develop and translate to shouldering. My ultimate goal for the sandbag to shoulder is to shoulder 300 pounds, but that's going to take a lot of work, a lot of consistency and practice. All right, so sets and reps for the workout. Last week with the sandbag over the shoulder, I did 10 total, alternating each shoulder every time. So I guess 5 each shoulder. This week I'm going to try to go for 12 and see how that feels. As for kettlebell and dive bomber volume, I'll do 10 sets, 3 to 5 reps. I'm going to see, I usually just go off of how I feel that day, depending on to see how many reps I can do, and might do more, might do less, I don't know. As for the dive bombers, I'm going to do a drop set. I'm going to do 20, I'm going to try for 20 and see how that feels, and then drop by 2 until 2 reps. All right, time to get warmed up. So I like to ease into this sandbag stuff. I don't think there's really any way to warm up to get your body ready for that initial shock of lifting a heavy sandbag. So kind of like to get the blood flowing a little bit. I don't really believe in stretching before a workout. I mean, I guess research says and experts say that it's not really a good thing to do. So I haven't really been injured by not stretching, so. Oh, snap, crackle, pop. Oh, getting old. I'm a big fan of leg swings for getting the hips going. Gets that snap, crackle, pop out of there. All right, enough of that. Let's lift sandbags. All right, so you want to approach the sandbag with intent to what shoulder you're going to go to or go over before you even start the exercise. I'm going to do a vertical on this first set, see how it feels. I'm going to ease into it. For some bands and farmer carries. Farmer carries, I usually take a lap around this whole platform right here. Nothing too crazy. The volume usually adds up with that, so it works out. Thing about these center blocks is they can offer a lot of grip variety. You can hold them, I like holding them right here, switching it up, like going like this, hold them up top. And I think the hardest one is like it's right in the middle like this. That's the toughest. I don't think I can carry that very far. Usually do this accessory work in giant sets. I'll do 3 exercises. I'm gonna do some banded pull aparts with a light band. Then I'm gonna take the heavy band, do some bicep curls. So the thing about that accessory work is I try not to burn myself out every set, so I have more in the tank to lift sandbags. Like I said, doing that in between every set of the workout, it's going to accumulate a lot of volume, and the whole purpose behind that is consistency over intensity. All right, set 2 with the sandbag. I'm going to hit this one horizontal. Go over the right shoulder. Finesse. We'll hit set 3 vertical. Left shoulder. Bag's drawing blood, making my hand bleed. Oh yeah, now we're drawing blood. Set 4, I'm gonna go horizontal. Quick and easy. All right, set 5 going vertical. Had this band for a while, it's starting to get dry rotted and cracked. I'm just waiting for the day it hits me in the face. Might need to get some goggles like the Stone Circle. Isometric tension is king on these bicep curls with the band. Focus on that. Said to increase your work capacity, and I found it effective so far. All right, halfway there. Set 6 going horizontal. My face kind of got in the way on that one. So I think rolling the bag under my hand from all this picking I do is just rub the back of my hand raw. So I guess right now I'm trying to avoid getting under the bag, just staying to the side of it with my hands. It's light enough I can do that with, so it's not really an issue. I just don't want to touch my open wound on my hand on this dirty workout surface. Set 7 going vertical. Take a little bit of time, rest with this bag on your lap, think about how you're going to grip it, and then when you're ready, think about exploding up as fast as possible. And also, think smooth. Set 8 horizontal. After this one, I'm going to turn around and go vertical with it. I'm stuck. Yeah. Oh shit. All right, this is set 10. I'm gonna do the same thing I did on the 8th set. I'm gonna turn around and do vertical again, just doubling them up. When you're picking a sandbag, you'll make sure it's all packed together, because this thing can shape shift from dropping it and moving it around so much. Starting to get fatigued. I'm gonna try something a little different. Now with this sandbag, the top is wider than the bottom. It's a funnel shaped bag. Try this thing, I think it's called a bottleneck, where I'm gonna pick it like this standing up, roll it on my lap, and then just roll it over my shoulder. Never done it before, so we'll see how this goes. Whew. That sucked. So for the 12th set, just gonna go ahead and do vertical, get it over with. One thing to do, one important thing to do before you explode up, get the bag up to your chest, to the shoulder. Take a deep breath in on an inhale, bring the bag up, and then when the lift is over, exhale. One thing to not do is, when you got the bag at your chest, especially with a lot heavier bags than this, hold your breath in and hold the bag too long up there, because you're either gonna get the lift or you're not. And if you don't get the lift, or you get the lift, you're gonna feel really lightheaded afterwards and probably fall on your face, which is, if you've watched any of my other videos, I've got some clips of that. So big important thing with that is get the bag up to your shoulder or over your shoulder as quick as possible. Don't ever hold it at your chest too long, because you might pass out. All right, so the sandbag work is over. 12 sets total. Now it's time to move on to some kettlebell clean and press, 10 sets, and some dive bomber push-ups. I'm also going to do 10 sets. I'm going to see how it feels, see how many I can do, and drop down 2 reps from there. With calisthenics and kettlebell, one thing I like to do that keeps it pretty fun is I like to add variety to the rep schemes. I like to do something different every week. All right, so set 1, clean and press. I'm going to do 10 sets of 5 each arm. I'm gonna try this variety that I saw Steve Calamar's do. It's called the Dand. It's where my hands are overlapping. I'll try it out, see how it feels. Oh yeah. It's different. Okay. I can't do as many as I can do as many. I got 5 there. I'm gonna do regular for the rest of the set. 8, 9, 10, 11, Set 2. 3. When I first tried these kettlebell clean and press, I always had that thing smack my wrist. Simple way I found to have it not smack my wrist: when you catch it, think about tucking the elbow. Tuck the elbow. 18 dive bombers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 2 danned. Oh God. All right, set 3, kettlebell clean and press. 16 dive bombers. 'As the reps drop, I feel like they're getting harder every set. All right, set 4. 14 dive bombers. 5. So that wrapped up this morning's workout. It always ends with a bear hug carry to the truck with a sandbag. I've never made a video like this where I show all the sets and reps, so I just wanted to make it like you were actually there with me working out. I hope I gave some good pointers. Right now, I'm in the middle of a 7-week prep for the Murph Challenge, so I'm not really going that heavy on the sandbag work. I'm kind of focusing on more skills, so when I go back to going heavy, it'll help with shouldering the sandbag and doing anything else with the sandbag. The kettlebell clean and press and the dive bomber push-ups, that's how I do my press work. It's all about finding exercises you like, sticking to them, adding a little variety from set to set. Having one kettlebell is great for unilateral work. I'd like to try double kettlebell clean and press. I'm sure that'll be fun, but I'm a little imbalanced from my right to left side. I'm right side dominant, so it works pretty well. So as I was ending this workout, there was a guy that came out to the park with me. I don't usually see a whole lot of people at the park that early in the morning because I train at 4 a.m. His name was Mike, and he was heavily into calisthenics, and I got to talking to him, and he was figuring out what he wanted to do. He was trying to get himself on a routine of discipline and everything, and I give a big shout out to you, Mike, if you're watching this video. Keep putting in the work, you'll get there. After the workout, we got to talking like it was a Joe Rogan podcast, and maybe one day I'd love to sit down with you and talk training again sometime. I don't really tell people I have a YouTube channel kind of out in the streets because nobody really cares. I guess that's a unspoken rule of doing YouTube. So he was talking about how he likes to watch a bunch of different people on YouTube do a bunch of different stuff like mace, kettlebells, all that stuff, and sandbags. And I was like, funny you say that. So I think it's pretty awesome to actually meet people who are into my style and our style of training with the sandbags, the kettlebells, and the calisthenics. That doesn't really happen a whole lot because like most people, I'm just stuck in my mundane routine of life, and the people I'm around could give two shits about our style of training. So Mike, maybe I'll see you more often, and I look forward to it, and it was awesome talking to you this morning, if you're watching this. I wanted to give a big shout out to Reverend Terminator on here. The guy's from Norway. He's into video making and editing and AI, making AI songs and stuff. He watches my channel a lot, comments on my videos, and I also watch his stuff, and I like watching him put in work in the gym. He kind of makes his videos in the form of like superhero movies. I'd say they're a little inspirational to someone who's looking to get back into fitness. He commented on one of my videos asking me a bunch of questions about my life and what I like, my interests and stuff like that. So I answered him, but I figured he was up to something. Well, he ended up making like an AI song, AI country song about me. He wrote the lyrics, and then I guess AI does the rest. I don't know too much about it, but I thought that was pretty cool. So Reverend, I appreciate that. I thought that was pretty awesome. I look forward to watching you keep putting in the work in the gym daily. So that's gonna do it. If you're still watching at this point, I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate all you guys' support through my journey. If you're a sandbag guy like me, or just getting into sandbags, I hope this gives you some pointers, a little tips, and kind of a dive into what I actually do instead of me making edited video shots all the time. So there you have it. Thanks for being here, and keep putting in the work.